Okay, great. I'd like to call the meeting for March 2024 of the Port Council to order.
Okay.
And I would like to make a statement regarding remote participation pursuant to Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, as amended. Port Council members are participating remotely in today's meeting because their physical attendance today would be unreasonably difficult. All Port Council members in attendance and all members participating in the meeting by the Zoom video conferencing app will be clearly audible to each other. As a result of members' remote participation in this meeting, any and all votes taken by the members today shall be by roll call vote. And I would also like to inform everyone that Sean Driscoll, the authority's communication director, is making an audio and video recording of today's meeting. And if there's anyone else making an audio recording of today's meeting, if so, please identify yourself. If you are joining virtually, please press the raise your hand icon on the Zoom dashboard, or if you're joining by phone, by pressing *9 on your keypad. And when you're recognized, please state your name for the record. Thank you.
Louisa Huffstadter with the Vineyard Gazette, rolling audio.
Thank you, Louisa.
That's all I have, Rob.
Okay. Why don't we...
Rob,
yeah.
If I may, before you do that, could I have a moment?
Of course.
I'd like to introduce Gordon Carr. He's the newly appointed Port Council representative from New Bedford. He's joining us here for his first meeting, so please be gentle. So
it's New Bedford. Don't have to be that gentle.
Can we, is the video, can I scan over to say hello to him?
How does that work? Yeah. Maybe if I speak, perhaps. Yes. Thank you very much, everyone. It's great to be with you. Thanks for the opportunity. I've been about we were just talking, not quite 18 months as port director in New Bedford, previously coming from the Massachusetts Port Authority. So have a fair amount of experience. My learning curve is, we were just talking about softening a little in New Bedford. So I'm very pleased to be able to join all of you and take on this role, fill the New Bedford seat, which I gather has been vacant on the Port Council for a bit. So this learning curve will be steep, but I'll try to pick it up, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thanks very much.
Well,
thank you.
Welcome. The Port Council would like to welcome you, Gordon. You can see how efficient the steamship is. You've already got your name tag in front of you, so that's
I noticed that as well. I've got out my game at the Port Authority, I think. So,
there's plenty to learn. Nat, who is the other one remotely calling in today, is a great source of information. He's probably been around the longest. But all of us are much more than willing to help in any way we can to get you up to speed, and we welcome you aboard.
Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for indulging me on that.
Well, that was on my list of things to do, but you took that's fine. So why don't we? Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes from the February meeting?
Yeah, I'll make that motion. I'll second it. Okay.
So we have to do roll call vote.
Yeah.
So we have Gordon.
I've reviewed them, so
Joe.
Aye. Salito, aye.
Nat.
Aye.
Munir, aye. I'd also like, before I turn the next part of the agenda over to Bob, I'd like to thank Nat for sitting in for me last week, last month, which would have been my first as the chair this go round. But I had a conflict that was just unable to be moved. So Nat, thanks a lot for doing that. I really appreciate it.
All set, Bob. Rob, thank you.
Okay. So why don't we move to the management report? Bob, over to you.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. Just to mention who's in the room, in addition to the Port Council, is obviously myself, Mark Rosum, Mark Higgins, Stephen Coleman, Janice Kennebec, Allison Fletcher, Sean Driscoll, and then joining us in the audience is Dukes County member James Malcolm.
Thanks.
And so the first item we have is an update on the progress of the OSBs, and I think Sean's bringing Mark over.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Mark. Morning, Mark. Morning, Mark.
Hello, Mark.
So I'm on site today down in Mobile, Alabama, where we have the conversion of the Barnstable and the Aquinnah projects going on. And Sean, if you could do the first slide, please.
Sorry, hang on 1 second.
Yeah.
Back over to the folder.
So we have both vessels right now. We are beginning the blasting and coating element of the dry docking, and we currently have on the Barnstable, all the bow thrusters are assembled, all the propulsion blades are on the propeller, and the stern section is in place. I think we'll identify them as we go along with the photo. So here's a photo of the back end with all the blades in place. The rudders are not shown in this picture, but they are completed. Next slide, please. This is a photo of the bow thruster installed, and the bow thrusters, the 3 thrusters per vessel are installed, and the grates are on board as well. Next slide. These are the anchor windlasses. They're getting ready to go on board probably next week. Next slide. This section shows on the vessel on the right side is the Barnstable. The new stern section is on and welded in place. And the photo on the left is the Aquinnah, and that is the stern section that is now welded into place. Next slide. These are the new fuel tanks that have been completed and coated and ready for installation. Next slide. And these are the tanks installed. So they are right now, the piping systems are getting ready to be installed, connecting to the various engines. And the financial snapshot, it shows right now we have contract value of $13.7 million per vessel. We have 703,531 in change orders per vessel. So a grand total for both the projects at 28.7 million. So just some further information. Right now we're planning on launching both the vessels at the end of this month on the 29th, and we got a lot of work to go. We're beginning the blasting and coating of the exterior hull, but right now everything is right on target to where we need to be for the end of the month launching. Any questions?
Thanks, Mark. Any questions from the Port Council?
I just want to say thank you, Mark. I mean, this is great. Moving along. So it's good.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Mark, a question for me, just on the regulatory side. How does that all stand in terms of the approvals and whatever the inspections will be, and what are the steps from a regulatory perspective to get out of it?
These are U.S. Coast Guard approved vessels, subchapter H. We've had the Coast Guard in every week evaluating all the welding, and we have been throughout the process of the docking. All the drawings have been submitted to Marine Safety Center. We've got a lot that have been returned, approved, and we're still in. It'll be right up to the end till we get our certificate of inspection. So right now we're right on track where we need to be.
Great. So no showstoppers, no smoking guns, no issues that are out there that need to overcome.
No, we've done this project. This is similar to this, actually, the 3 OSVs that we had previously, and as far as the regulatory compliance.
Great, thanks. Good morning, Mark. Welcome.
Good morning.
We just heard the report from Mark. Any questions you might have before we move on to the next agenda item?
Very impressed with all the progress. So, and I'm sorry I'm late.
No problem. Mark, thanks a lot. Appreciate the
Thank you.
report.
Thank you.
Okay, so next, Mark's not off the hot seat yet. We have an update on the Island home.
Okay, thank you again, everyone. The Allen home has just arrived back to Fairhaven, but I'll give a synopsis of the dry dock evolution. This is a picture showing her after the launch, out of dry dock, pierside at Steamship Shipyard. Next slide. We pulled both the shafts and addressed all the rudders, and so all the rudders have been, the shafting and bearings have all been replaced and the rudders addressed maintenance-wise. Next slide. This is a photo of a new decking installation we've done in the O1 deck. Next slide. Now we've done, and this will be, I think our riding passengers really appreciate this. These are 4 new ADA doors that we've installed on the O2 level, replacing existing doors. So I think this will be a nice change. Next slide. So the highlights of the docking include hull coatings, bow thruster overhauls, main propulsion shaft repairs, and bearing replacements. We've put in a new ultraviolet water purifier system for drinking water, and of course, the new door installations on the O2 level. So the financial snapshots are the contract value was 1.59 million. We have got credits and change orders to the good of $2,697, and right now we're delivering at 1.59 million total contract, including change orders and credits. Any questions?
Looks good.
Sounds like you're off the hook there, Mark. Thank you much.
Okay.
All right. Next, we have the update on the Iyanough.
Okay, the Iyanough has just come out of Fairhaven Shipyard in Fairhaven. Here's a picture prior to docking. All the coatings are done and intact. You can see the port side of the vessel here. Next slide. This is a photo of the underwater area. We addressed all the coatings on the underside of the vessel as part of our statutory dry docking requirements. Next. What we've done in both the port and starboard side, we've replaced the shell plating. These are the main engine exhausts coming through. We've put a new shell plating and system on each side. Next. And we've done all of our water jet maintenance, and we're getting ready for the season to commence at the end of March. Next slide. So the highlights of the docking, including hull coatings, did a lot of window and door repairs, propulsion jet maintenance, shell plate renewals, and we did do an overhaul of the auxiliary engine and alternator. So the financial snapshot, the contract value is 1.016 million. We've had change orders of 137,900 for a grand total of 1,154,780. So we'll finish up this month just getting all of our engine repairs and Coast Guard inspections in place. And I believe the date is March 25th. We'll be getting back on the run. I guess winter's coming to an end quickly for us in repair. Any questions?
I would just like to say I had the opportunity last week to do a site visit to the Fairhaven repair facility and went out with, I believe it was Martha's Vineyard, for sea trials along with a Coast Guard inspection, as well as to see firsthand the Iyanough at the Fairhaven shipyard. And I can't say how impressed I was with the operation there, the attention to detail, the professionalism of all the individuals I met with. I think we can all rest assured that we're doing an excellent job on maintaining and all of our vehicles under, some difficult situations given the age and the lack of uniformity of the vehicles, but everybody did a very good job. So I just want to thank the Steamship Authority for the opportunity to do that visit.
Thank you, Mark. Just want to add the Nantucket went into dry dock this past week at Thames Shipyard, and we'll be getting a report at the next Port Council meeting on her status. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mark, thanks for making that visit. And I guess I would encourage all of our Port Council members to take advantage of those opportunities when they arise. It certainly is a good way to really understand what's going on. So thanks for doing that, Mark.
Well, it doesn't hurt. I'm only 2 houses away from. It's not very hard for me to walk over.
It's a little different.
Oh, the traffic.
Watch out, Mark. You're going to become the coordinator for the work there.
We don't have a shipyard out here.
Okay, Mark, thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, Bob, back to you.
Okay, so next item is in the packet, and Allison should be coming over here, be easier. Is is a preliminary draft of the proposed 2025 operating schedules. You want me to? I'll start, you can jump in. Okay, so the proposed 2025 operating schedules are essentially what we've been running now for the past 7 years. It starts the same day as the 2024 schedule on January 4th. It ends one day later in on January 4th, 2026. So what you're seeing is on the vineyard side, a vineyard route. On the left-hand side is the schedule broken down by the date ranges and which vessels are running. The ones that are more of a platinum type thing, or ones that are berthed on island, and the others obviously would be berthed on the mainland. So during the winter schedule, we're starting the same day as 2024 and ending one day later. On the vineyard side, you have the Martha's Vineyard will be running that entire schedule. The Island Home will be running the beginning of the schedule, the end of the schedule. In between, while the Island Home is in repair, the MV Nantucket will be running. And while this says the Katama, excuse me, no, I'm on the wrong side. The right-hand side is the 2025, sorry. So we'd be having the Aquinnah running in place instead of the Katama. You want to do the next one?
Sure, Nantucket as well, we'll see no changes. Wait, there's still, sorry. You'll be having the beginning of the schedule, the Nantucket running while it's in repair period, and the Eagles in repair period, sorry. And then the Woods Hole will be the freight boat, and then while that goes into repair, we have the Gay Head, but it must be the Barnstable.
Sorry.
Speaking of it on.
Give you the wrong one.
It'll be the Barnstable running in place of the Woods Hole while that vessel's in its repair period.
Okay, now we get to the spring schedule, and back to the vineyard side. We'll have basically the same schedule as what we have right now. That schedule starts one day later and ends 2 days earlier than the 2024 schedule. But we'll have the Martha's Vineyard, the Island Home, and the Woods Hole running on the vineyard route, and then on the Nantucket route.
At that point, we will have the Eagle, potentially the Barnstable and the Aquinnah running, and the Iyanough would be double crewed for that time period.
So the late spring schedule, which runs from May 13th through June 16th, starts 2 days earlier and ends one day later than 2024. On the vineyard side, okay, you have that in there. So we have the Martha's Vineyard or Nantucket. There's a spruce up period included for the Martha's Vineyard, as well as a spruce up period for the Island Home. So the Nantucket will be taking the place of those vessels during those 6 to 9 day periods. And then the Woods Hole and the Motor Vessel Governor will be coming out starting the season. Then on the Nantucket.
The Nantucket route, would see no changes for trips, times, and quantities of trips and vessel crewing from the 13th to the 17th. The MV Eagle would be triple crewed and operate 3 round trips, from May 13th to June 17th. We would be having the Barnstable and Aquinnah running as well during the early period, and then during the little summer change from May 22nd to May 27th, it would be the Eagle, Barnstable, and Nantucket running.
Although, when we were putting this together, we did go back and, we see that during that, Memorial Day weekend period where we put the Nantucket on the run down the Nantucket run because of the passenger capacity, with the new freight vessels, they'll have enough passenger capacity to accommodate the passengers that have been on those trips, the last couple of years. So, we're thinking instead of making a switch unnecessarily, that we'll just keep the Barnstable and Aquinnah on that entire time period. But when we were preparing this, a lot was still in flux as we were doing it. And then getting to the summer schedule, the summer schedule starts 1 day later and ends 4 days later than the 2024 on the Vineyard route. Again, we'll have the Martha's Vineyard, Island Home, Nantucket Governor, and the Aquinnah will be running a single crew Monday through Friday. And
At the Nantucket route, you would have the Eagle, Barnstable, and Woods Hole running, and then during the period where the Barnstable comes off, from August 7th to September 9th, you'd have the Monomoy potentially running its place.
the
And I would be triple crew.
And then in the fall, late summer schedule, which runs from September 10th to October 21st. On the Vineyard route, the motor vessel Martha's Vineyard would be going in for its repair period, so the Nantucket will be running in its place. The Island Home, Aquinnah, and Governor.
And then for the Nantucket route, it would be Eagle, Barnstable, and the Woods Hole. And the Iyanough as well. I'm still triple crew.
We did have it on there that it could be the Barnstable or Monomoy. We have to look at their setting up the repair schedule for the new OSPs and.
Yeah.
And then the fall schedule, which runs from October 22nd to January 4th, 2026, on the Vineyard route. Again, the Nantucket takes the place of the Martha's Vineyard while it's in repair. You have the Iyanough and the Aquinnah, and then once the Martha's Vineyard comes back, it'll be Martha's Vineyard, Island Home, and Aquinnah for the remainder of the schedule.
And on the Nantucket route, it would be the Eagle and the Woods Hole from October 22nd to November 23rd. And then from the 24th of November to the 4th of January would be the Nantucket and the Woods Hole. And the Iyanough would be double crewed.
So as we pointed out, we've been continuing to work on this schedule. One of the things that we know we're going to be making a change before we bring this to the board as a preliminary operating schedule is that on the Nantucket route, I think the draft that was sent to you included making those for the first trip from Iyanough the same year round, but we look back at it and the operational issues that we had can be addressed. So we'll keep the same sailing times as what we've had now for the past 7 years. So on the Nantucket road. So this is a preliminary draft. We'll be presenting it to the board. Once we do that, we'll be posting advertisements of it to open it up for public comment. And we'll be bringing it back at a future date to be determined. But if anyone has any comments, any suggestions, we'd be happy to hear.
So let's open this up for discussion. Nat?
Yes.
Let's go to our scheduling guru here.
No, not now. This is a new world right now, and I really appreciate the effort that's gone into this. Unfortunately, we talked about this forget about the 25 schedule. We talked about this for right now coming up. When those new boats come, it's a game changer. They're not the same size. There's going to be a lot of new thinking with the H boat issue and allocation, not knowing exactly what's going to fit. I see what Allison's doing with the Woods Hole kind of penciled in a little bit in the draft that we got earlier, and hopefully they'll be real close. That would be great for the authorities' booking system. But I just want to ask them, this is where I get like hesitant to bring up the Woods Hole being on our route so long. I'd like to, we're going to have to give the Woods Hole back to the vineyard someday. And other than in the summer, and I know that there's a lot of maintenance scheduling mixed in that is unknown. So I'm assuming that this schedule is going to be held back for booking in the bulks as long as possible. Is that a fair assumption, Allison, in your mind?
Well, we hope to have a better understanding of what fits on these boats come spring, once we actually get them. Yeah, we're actually going to be, we're looking at a date right now just to do some mock-ups, just to kind of get a rough idea of what will fit on the boats prior to them getting here. But once we get through, I think this summer period, we'll have a good idea of what will fit and what won't. So next year shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's by the end of June, you're going to know what's going on.
Right.
This will be the pilots, the bosuns, whoever's loading the boat. They're going to know. The agents are going to know. All the tricks will get figured out in the next, from June to mid-July or so. What fits on the stern, etc. And hopefully that's going to help with the bulks before the schedule is gets sent out to the 100 and something shippers.
Right, because now, as you know, with the summer bulk now coming out, it was built for the smaller boats because we don't know what's going to fit on it.
Yeah.
And obviously, once we do get an idea of what fits on it and we can increase it, we will, and the wait list matches will make those. So.
Yeah, and that's a whole other conversation that we can have without a meeting. So that's great. And the other thing is, Bob, if we, and I don't have any idea about this, I always, these dates that we come up with, if we decide, over the next, month and a half that we want to bring the Iyanough back a week early, do we have to bring the other boats back too with crewing stuff, or can we do one and not the other schedule, like kind of have it separated?
Yeah, we could do that. We know we need to have a discussion. We're looking at the overhaul next year. We're going to be overhauling engines.
Two
three
engines.
and four.
Yeah.
Three and four, I think, is the schedule. Excuse me, one and two are being overhauled because 3 and 4 were overhauled more recently. So, but there's some time. There's some with the plug and play, so to speak, of the engines where we have spares. We can pull the other engines out, put these engines in, get them all aligned and everything. So we'll be able to pick up some time there. So we do believe we're going to have an opportunity to put that boat in service sooner if that's the we'll need to look at talk with Highline as well in terms of the transportation network aspect of what the service levels that Nantucket needs.
Right, and I appreciate that. That's sort of exactly what I was thinking from the last meeting, asking Mark about the swap. We've never been able to do this before. So that's going to be a game changer for the steamship to be able to know exactly what's going to happen flipping that boat around in the winter when we have to do the 2 engines. So Rob, you weren't here for that, but this is a big deal that they got 2 full engines sitting there instead of having to send them to Detroit Diesel or whatever they used to do, send them to Wakefield or send them to Florida. I mean, there's been all kinds of stuff, and this is huge. So thank you all for all your help. And you know, this is a transition for the steamship for the next 2 years to get everything in place for these vessels, you know, as far as the, you know, spaces and allocations and opening them up to booking, et cetera, et cetera. There's a couple of other things that Alice and I haven't talked to you about yet that we can have these discussions, but I am really excited about having boats that can be booked and have people be able to get on these boats on trips that currently are kind of, let's just say, flagged. And it's going to be huge. I talked to a couple people last week about the 8 a.m. freight boat from Nantucket being able to have people.
Absolutely.
That's going to be huge. So anyway,
That's why when we're looking at, you know, these vessels as replacement vessels, when we realized there was an opportunity to be able to get those to be subchapter H, you know, right now, the Tamer and Gayhead, they hit draft, ends up restricting the number of passengers that can be on board. And as a subchapter H, these vessels won't have those restrictions. So it does open up an opportunity to be able to backfill and be able to accommodate, you know, walk-on travel.
Yep.
Hey, Bob,
Thank
can you
you.
remind us, what is the passenger carrying capacity of the new boats?
350.
Wow. Okay, thanks. Other questions, comments on the proposed schedules from the Port Council? I have one, Bob. You I think made a relatively quick offhand comment about the times are all the same from 2024, and obviously that I assume includes the 5:30 boat from Woods Hole. I think it's important to make a strong argument again for that, because as you know, it remains a lightning rod with my constituents. So I don't know if you want to do that now or you want to do that the next time, but I think it's a really important topic that needs to be covered, not just offhandedly referred to, that we're keeping the same timing.
Yeah, and obviously we're well aware of the concerns of the community, and you know, we'll continue to look at this and, you know, see what opportunities. Unfortunately, with being where we are now, and the time frame in terms of getting schedules approved, and so that way we can start the bulk process for next year already. You know, that's why we're here in March talking about 2025 schedules. So, but we'll continue to look at that and see, you know, see if there's an opportunity. One of the things that we're doing is including in the upcoming dry dock, which is actually in a year from now, of the motor vessel Woods Hole, is to include some side passenger loading abilities, which then gets back to Nat's comment about getting the Woods Hole back down to this run, to the Vineyard run more. We have the issue with because everything has to be loaded over to transfer bridge. You know, that's one of the reasons why it's down on the Nantucket run in the summertime. They don't have as many passengers. They also needed the center space for the trucks, and we needed the passenger capacity of the motor vessel Nantucket down here on this run. So we'll be looking at those and see if there's any opportunities that we have to make any adjustments to the schedule. But at this point, no promises.
Okay, well, so a couple of things. One would be if you could just sort of outline what is the steps from now until an approved schedule, and what opportunities are there for comment, and also what opportunities or timing would there be for you to kind of make the strong case for the 5:30 boat?
Okay, so we'll be presenting this to the board at their March 19th meeting. And then we're planning on I don't have the calendar in front of me. I think that following week, placing the advertisements in all the papers that are required. The 29th, sorry, so 10 days later. And that comment period is open for 30 days. So, during that 30 days period, if anyone has any comments, would like to submit, they can please do so at schedules@steamshipauthority.com. That'll be included in the advertisements. It'll also be posted on our website as well.
And then what's the target for a vote and an approval?
We don't anticipate coming back to the Port Council and Board until it probably will be the July or August meetings is what we'd be targeting for approval of the schedule, of the proposed schedule.
Okay, thanks for that outline. I just would ask that the management really provide a detailed, strong, well-fashioned argument for the 5:30 vote for everybody to consider as a part of this process.
Yeah.
Thanks. Anything further from other Port Council members on the schedules? And a question, was that presentation of the vessels and the periods, was that new? Or I don't recall that, and it kind of helps us to visualize that.
Yeah, I think we put it together last year. It may have only been for the board or for the final draft. I don't think we may not have done it for the preliminary, but I thought it was kind of it'd be helpful to kind of illustrate that, how similar these schedules really are. It's just a matter of, we work off circle days here in terms of the vessel crews, and that's why it's not the exact same dates from one schedule to the next and things like that. So, but we also have to factor in, every other year a vessel will go to dry dock, and the following year it's a repair period. So we have to take into account the repair, making sure we're maintaining these vessels, these assets. So.
Well, that's a helpful visualization. So hats off to you and to Allison. Thanks for that. And, the rest of us, other than that, need that kind of visualization. Okay, thanks. Next topic, please.
I'll turn it over to Mr. Rosen for his business summary.
Morning, everyone. We got the business summary for the month. So we got the business summary for the month of January. So comparing 24 versus 2023, passengers in both routes combined were up just over 1,800 passengers at 1.5%, with the Vineyard route being up 1.8% and the Nantucket route being down 0.8%. And that's on the regular ferry for the Nantucket route, they were down. Passenger vehicles carried for the month of January compared to last year. The Vineyard route was down 5.4%. The Nantucket route was down 1.7%, and both routes combined were down 4.9%. One thing to keep in mind is weather most likely played a factor in the month of January's traffic statistics. So last year, we can see in a future slide that we had this month, we had 83 trips canceled for weather in January compared to last year, we had 22 in the same time period. Freight vehicles, both routes combined were up 0.5%, and keep in mind these are all one-way traffic statistics. Vineyard was up 3.9%, and the Nantucket route was down 5.3%. Cars parked, we're up just over 1,000 vehicles at 21.8%. The Nantucket route was down 8%, while the Vineyard route was up 25.3%.
Hey, Mark, can I just interrupt on that?
Absolutely.
That seems like a big number. What's the explanation?
Yeah, let me check that. I believe that's a typo on the percentage. I apologize.
Well, no, the issue too is that this time of year, a small number ends up being a fairly large percentage.
Gotcha.
That same increase in July not get to that magnitude, but
Yeah.
it is January, not December's 2024.
Yeah, so let me verify that. I'll send an update, email it out right after the meeting. My apologies.
Roger that. Thanks.
Okay, good catch. Trip summary for the month of January. The Vineyard Road had 6 trips canceled for mechanical, 53 for weather, and 18 for traffic. On the Nantucket route, we had 2 trips canceled for mechanical, 30 for weather, and 3 for traffic. You can see comparing this year compared to last year, we're down on the mechanical percentage, but we're up on the weather cancellation percentages.
Would that be because of the more winds we've had this season?
Yeah, and it's all been a lot of it on the weekend, with that, with the automobiles down, and then the foot traffic's really on the weekdays for commuters, so it really wasn't impacted as much.
You're gonna see that trend going into February as well.
Yeah, and then we're losing like the whole day. It's not just a couple of trips, a couple of times. Okay, so here we go on the financial snapshot. So we got operating revenue of just over $5.7 million, which was higher than budget by just over 71,000. Other income was up 146,000. That's primarily due to interest rates compared to budget. Operating expenses of $10.8 million was higher than budget by 90,000. And then putting this together, we had a net operating loss for the month of just under 4.9 million, but was lower than budget by 361,000. Looking at the operating revenues, as you can see that the automobiles were down on the traffic stats, and that correlates to why the automobile revenue was down on the revenue side. 14.3%, or just over 170,000 for the month. On the expense side, we're down 89,000. Fuel expense for the month was down 96,000. We budgeted just under $3.20 a gallon. It came in at $3.63. And for the month of, for the first 3 weeks of February, when the report was put together, passengers were up 4.2% for both routes combined. And then here we can see the traffic, automobiles still down in the month of first 3 weeks of February as well, on both routes. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead. Thanks.
Just as, I don't know whether the proper place to bring it up, but the generator for the Oak Bluff dock, has that been put out to bid yet?
That is being worked on as we speak. I just saw an email yesterday, the day before, about whether it's a state contractor that goes out to bid.
Yeah.
So it's being worked on.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the business summary from members of the Port Council? Gordon, just a comment for you. One thing we have a lot of is data.
Yes.
And so dive in. It's a really interesting business model. And Mark has an awful lot of information to help to understand how this thing works.
Yeah, I've been jotting down a couple of notes so that I can catch up with Mark offline and try to understand some of these things. So thank you.
So just a short story. My first meeting was in April of whatever year it was, I think 10 years ago. And I come in just like you did, and I saw we lost $5 million. I said, "What kind of business is this?" Of course, you have to look at it over the course of the year, because there's and hope that at the end of the year you're in the green, and generally we are. But it's a real eye opener when you catch it in the off season.
Yeah, and I'll add to that is they're open. You can walk in that door and talk to them, just like a store, and that's key. And they will tell you the truth about how this place runs.
Yeah, no, I look forward to it. I will make time to come back and have conversations with everybody.
Yep, glad to have you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot, Mark. So we're at the old business, new business. Any old business that anybody wants to bring up? In the new business category, I'll bring up a topic, and that's an initiative by Board of Governors Chair Bob Jones, interested in hosting a workshop that would include the Board of Governors and the Port Council sometime in the next few months. I think the date's still to be determined, subject to, I think, people's availability. And would like to cover kind of a wide range of topics that we typically don't get a chance to cover in the course of the normal business meetings that we have. So I did want to bring that to everybody's attention. And I ask that those of you who have some ideas for topics that you might like to include in this workshop, that you can submit them either to me or directly to Bob, and then we'll sort of assemble what the agenda would be. So any comments, thoughts, questions on that? I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, I'm sorry. Are you finished with that?
I was just going to say, I know one of the topics that Bob is interested in is alternative propulsion. So this is sort of a long-term kind of view of things. Obviously, there's lots of important topics of that kind of gravitas. The New Bedford question in terms of support for freight. That's another one that obviously would come to mind. So those types of sort of big picture topics that we might want to, converse over. So feel free to come up with some of your own thoughts on that and pass them along.
Mr. Chairman, the new business.
Yes, go ahead, Joe.
It's just the compliment. My wife happened to be coming back on Sunday, and I got a text that the Sankey wasn't running. When she arrived at Woods Hole, I'd like to compliment whoever was on the ticket booth, who told her what the problem was, that they had a staffing problem, that they were going to get everybody on the board as soon as they can on a first come, first served basis. And she's supposed to be on the 4:15 Sankey, and she got on the 6:15 phone. I just wanted to say, I don't know who was on there that day.
What time is this? Roughly?
This would have been Sunday, and it was probably about 3 o'clock when she arrived.
I'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, the compliment that, because she happened to be on one of the other problems that they had about months ago, when it was completely the reverse, that nobody knew what was going on. But I just wanted to say, when they do something good, we should compliment them.
Absolutely, I will pass that along to the staff.
Yeah, I appreciate the public's patience with us during that. It was something that wasn't, it was a very last minute thing that happened where we ended up being short a crew member, and the frontline people and the vessel crews did a great job to try to make sure that we got everyone where they needed to be by the end of the day. So
it was not the weekend to be, because that was the end of our school vacation.
Right.
On the Vineyard, and everybody was coming back.
Thanks for sharing that, Joe. Anybody have anything else they want to bring up? Bob, have we missed anything? Anything that we should be covering?
No, I think other than public comment.
Okay, well, why don't we do that? Let's move to public comment. Sean?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Mr. Malcolm. Okay. Nat Trumbull.
Good morning, Nat.
Oh, good morning, everyone. My question is the following. What is your best estimate of the increased capacity the new freight boats will allow? What is the increase either in trucks or cars that the new boats will allow on both routes?
Yeah, we're still trying to work on that and see what will fit. I think you've already gotten the conceptual drawings that the naval architect had prepared, but I think the caveat is that sometimes he's able to put the vehicles in spaces that don't necessarily can't get there by going over the transfer bridge and the like. So at this point, we're looking at how close to those estimates that we previously had, how close we'll get to it. So.
How close to what is the approximate number? I've looked at the drawings and have drawn my own conclusions, but what have you concluded?
I think it's the upper 40s, I think is off the top of my head, for if it's an all carload. And with the trucks, we do have another lane, but we're not going to be able to, being able to get vehicles out onto the outer portion of that coming over the transfer bridge is something that we're still looking at. So again, I think those drawings that you previously have requested and received are, our best estimate at this point until we actually to get the vessels here.
Well, I did look at those drawings. My estimate was an overall 10% increase, I suppose, on both routes. Is that what you've concluded, or is that accurate?
Again, I think it depends upon what type of load it is. And again, until we, the limiting thing is the transfer bridge, and able to, particularly when we're talking about a freight load and being able to get those in position. We do have an area of the deck that is going to be marked off for egress in the event of an emergency to be able to get to the MESs. So I think the freight deck themselves is about the same length as the gayhead and container is. And so it's really just the fact that they do have a wider beam is really going to be the piece there. So, and again, it depends upon the type of vehicle, the vehicle mix. So
you're not willing to correct or my estimate of 10%. I get an extra lane, 25% on a single vessel, but you're not changing all your vessels. So is that 10% too high, or?
Are you talking overall, or you're talking just for these vessels?
I'm interested, especially in overall.
Again, I don't think we haven't done what the total vehicle carrying capacity would be based on these vessels, because we don't until we get them and know for certain what they can carry. I mean, for instance, the Woods Hole, originally we had hoped that would be able to carry 55 cars, and we know it doesn't do that. It's probably between 48 and 50. So it's at this point, we're all naval architects that they're able to put things in there, but they're not taking into account the swing radiuses and things like that. So until these vessels get there, we won't have what the total capacity is going to be. In terms of the schedules that we're proposing, it's essentially the same schedules. We're just substituting the Aquinnah, Barnstable, and Monomoy in place of the Sankaty, Gayhead, and Katama. So it's not, and there may be some opportunities once we get these vessels to be looking at being able to consolidate some trips as well because of that. But until we get those vessels and we know, how they're loaded, and that, it'd be premature to be making a commitment on that in that regard.
Well, thank you. I think there's great interest in what the increased capacity will be. That I believe was one of the reasons for getting these vessels. And today I couldn't tell you if it's 0 or 10% from what you've said.
Robert, I'm just looking to see there's no other board members on. So Mr. Malcolm has his hand raised. If you'd like to take him.
Yep, absolutely. Hi, Jim.
Hi. Public comment, and this is directed to the 5:30 here.
Hey, Jim, is there any chance you could change your location to something or a little garbled?
Yeah.
You can sit up here.
Well, this will scare you, Rob. Better?
Yeah.
This
you're
is
in the hot seat now.
In response to Rob's question about the 5:30 vote. I want to make sure that it's very clear what my position is, because I've been misquoted recently. In terms of the 5:30 vote from Woods Hole to Martha's Vineyard in the summer, it's my position that when the 3 down island towns, their police forces and their select boards feel that they do not need that 5:30 vote in the summer for traffic congestion and control issues, then I will reevaluate the position of Martha's Vineyard. Just want to be clear about that. Thank
Very
you.
good. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I think, you know, that just speaks to the idea that we should, each time what's proposed, we should really take a hard look at all of the different elements of it and make sure that, you know, because things change over time.
Correct.
And so I think that's a really important input that ought to be considered when the management, you know, finalizes their arguments for that vote.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Other comments, questions?
I do not see any hands raised in the audience.
Then do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved. So moved.
A second.
Second.
Okay. So all those in favor, Mr. Lowell,
Aye.
Mr. Reese,
Aye.
Mr. Salito,
Aye.
Mr. Carr,
Aye.
Veneer, aye. Thank you very much, everybody. At
Thank you, everyone.
least we can claim some efficiency today.
Always good to be out by 10.
Yes.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
everyone.
Cheers,
Bye-bye,
everybody.
everybody.